now we've made it to really the most important part of this section. In the following lessons, each lesson is going to be a specific prompting framework that you can use. So let's dive into it. What we're going to get into now are a set of highly effective frameworks aimed at enhancing focus and the precision of your outputs. So by providing a specific framework, as you know by now, these prompts enable ChatGPT to produce more detailed and accurate responses. And the first one that we're going to talk about is shot prompting. This is the simplest of all of the frameworks we're going to get into, but I still wanted to add it in for your reference. So these three variations have three different outputs that you're going to receive from ChatGPT. The first one, which is zero shot prompting, is kind of like what we mentioned before. We're not priming our model with any specific data. So with zero shot, there's no data, there's no guidelines, and there's no focus. ChatGPT is going to take your prompt and go any direction with it. So you're probably going to use this when you just want a quick question answered, like we did when we started with this section with our 30 simple prompts. That's just when you want a quick response and you're not going to actually give it any parameters. But one and few shot prompting is when we're actually giving parameters and specific reference data for the model to use. So even though this one's a little bit basic, there's not some amazing framework that we're working with on this one, but it's just nice to know what the actual term is when you're not giving ChatGPT any kind of specific input. So if I were to say, write a YouTube script for a tech review channel, that's called a zero shot prompt when I'm not giving it any kind of guideline, just so you know the terminology. If it was going to be one shot prompting, I would say something like, using this specific example as a reference, write a YouTube script for my tech review channel. So if you do that, that's called one-shot prompting. Now, as you are moving more towards complexity and moving away from a simple question to more of actual prompt engineering with something like few-shot prompting, you would say something like, using these examples 1, 2, and 3 as a reference, write a 5-minute YouTube script on the latest iPhone camera specifications from my tech review channel. Start with a 10-second hook and notate a photo for each main point. So some of the times you're going to be using zero shot, some of the times you're going to be using one shot, and other times when you need a very detailed output for a specific use case, you're going to be using few shot prompting.